Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This is a 2019 film. I just came in from the theater and saw it yesterday. It's rated PG-13. It runs 2 hours and 12 minutes. Pretty lengthy. It feels longer. It's directed by Michael Dougherty. It stars Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, Ken Watanabe, and Ziyi Zhang, and some other people that you'll recognize. Has a pretty familiar cast, to be honest. This story follows the heroic efforts of the cryptozoological agency Monarch as its members face off against a battery of god-sized monsters, including the mighty Godzilla, who collides with Mothra, Rodan, and his ultimate nemesis, the three-headed king Ghidorah. When these ancient superspecies thought to be mere myths rise again, they all vie for supremacy, leaving humanity's very existence hanging in the balance. Godzilla, King of Monsters. Well, I'll start off very simply saying that I like all these big creature movies. They mention Kong from Skull Island, and I like that movie a lot. And it mentions, Mothra and all these other big characters and what Godzilla did before, and that was a good movie. And so this really ties in a lot. It has a lot within this one movie. And usually, I think the popular opinion is when movies try to do this, then you try and fit in multiple thoughts and ideas and all this stuff. Usually, you would say that no movie can pull this off. Like it's just too high, aiming for any movie to try and put in so many ideas into one movie and have it be a complete movie and be entertaining and maintain focus. And I think this goes along those lines, that it is a little bit too uh, maybe adventurous on trying to involve so much in here. They actually mention, that there's 17 creatures and they're all loose, and they can't follow all of them. Obviously, they try and show blurbs of some of them causing destruction, but uh, there's just no way to cover everything that they need to cover in this movie. They have Godzilla gone for a long time of the movie, and they focus on the humans way too much and their storyline and their backstory and their relationships with each other. I think that's going to be the biggest flaw of this movie, is the fact that it is so much about the humans that we don't get to see enough of the creatures, and when you advertise a monster movie, a lot of times you kind of get caught up on, the fact that you have to have an actual movie, and so you create these relationships, you create this drama within the human characters, and we don't need that so much. A lot of time, especially at the beginning of this, when you get introduced to these people that are characters in this movie, and a lot of times we don't take them seriously. They're comedians, they're in a lot of other movies and they've been really good, but now they're not feeling right in this movie. And I think Ken Watanabe is one of those. I think this girl that was in Shape of Water is kind of like that. Like they just didn't feel right to be in this movie. And then the guy that plays the head of intelligence, he just is a funny character, and he's funny in this. And that's nice that he adds that element and everything to a Godzilla movie. But like maybe we didn't need him in that role, and we don't need the comedy, because it's not like funny ha ha comedy throughout the movie. It's not one of those kind of films, but there are some times where I heard some people laughing, but I didn't laugh at anything. So I don't really know, if you want that a little bit, if it helps your movie to have a couple laughs in it, but I think you need to have more serious people in the serious role in the serious movie. And maybe even though you're Godzilla, maybe you don't need a name in every single role. And that's kind of what they did. And not everybody was phenomenal. They just weren't. So, as far as the action goes, obviously it's amazing, with Godzilla and all the other creatures. Amazing, special effects and up and close of the monster. Feels like you can reach out and touch him. And it's all very cool. It has a little bit of the Power Ranger feel of it, where they're just stomping through buildings and stepping on stuff, and it just seems like it's the Power Rangers feel of a completely fake set. And there's a couple times where like people are running away and this huge boulder is falling down behind them, and it looks like it's made of paper or something. Like if it came that close to you, it would probably crush you. And it just doesn't look very realistic. It doesn't look like somebody with common sense would say, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And the beams of light, like if somebody has that power where they have beams of light shooting out of every part of them, you don't think they just kill everybody around them. So it's just kind of on that element throughout the movie, with all these creatures and all this power and all this stuff, that why people aren't getting killed immediately. The ways that they are dying are kind of fluky. And you don't see anybody just automatically die. And honestly, I kind of got sick of the fact that the monsters couldn't get killed. Like a lot happens to them. One gets stabbed and like falls like it's dying, and then it comes back later. And then one, gets pummeled in the ground, but it's like it doesn't even affect it. So there's really no way to beat it. In these beams of light, like what's the purpose of them if they don't really do anything? It really felt like an old Power Ranger film, or episode on TV. So like everything they do just had no effect on each other, and it's just two, you know, people that are gonna be living forever fighting each other, and there's no way of killing each other. It felt like that for a lot of the time. So I haven't said the B word yet, but I actually was kind of bored in this. I was kind of getting to that point where I just couldn't handle it anymore. I really wanted it to be over. And I'm really sorry about the people who don't speak English in this, but they just were hard to understand when they were trying to speak English. And I know it's Godzilla. And I know that the legend is that, that he takes care of people overseas, like mostly Japan and stuff. And I understand that you need to have a diverse cast and everything, but I just would like to understand every character, what they're saying. It's really hard. These people with broken English or accents, it's really hard to get into the movie and stay in the movie when you're trying to figure out every single word of what somebody's saying. It's just exhausting, and I'm not going to a movie to work on that. So I don't think I'm gonna like this as much as other people, even though the graphics are great and everything. It's phenomenal. That's why I went to go see Godzilla. I knew how big of a thing it would be, and it was fun watching that. And I do, for the most part, enjoy all the Godzilla movies. The storyline and the bringing them back and using them in a different way, all the facets of the Godzilla movie. I enjoy being a part of. I like going to see in theater. It's very much an experience. But this movie in particular just seemed to drag forever. There was some unbelievable moments, and I just can't give the cast as much credit, even though all of them are becoming very well known. I just don't think that this was the movie to impress me. So I'm gonna give Godzilla a B minus, and obviously suggest seeing it, but just know that you might struggle with some things. Know that some aspects of the movie might not be the best, and just don't put your total expectation into this, because I think a lot of younger people who are going to see this and don't know what Godzilla's you know, including in their movies, are going to be very bored. And I think a lot of older people who know what's coming are going to see that it's predictable, and they're going to get a little bored. So I think there'll be a limited amount of people who actually fall in love with this movie. So just keep your expectations a little bit lower. A B minus for Godzilla. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and get some of them watched. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And as always, enjoy your movies. Thanks.